loosely tied into Blizzard in the sense that it follows Dota, deals with Dota, which is obviously started off as a mod to Warcraft 3. We talked about this last episode that recently it was the World Championships, right, for Dota 2. At the World Championships, they had a special sort of event going on where they had an AI play against Dota 2 pros, and the AI won. Having said that, there are some caveats. It was only 1 versus 1, and they could only use one character who is called Shadow Fiend. So that was the issue. That was the catch, as it were. But in that specific situation, the pros could not beat the AI, and that is kind of crazy. Yep. And so the people who made the AI says not only are they working on teaching it other characters, but they're working on a bigger version where it'll be like 3 versus 3 or something like that. Are you guys worried that the AI revolution is coming?
Well, you know what's funny? Elon Musk has been in the news recently for trying to warn people about the dangers of AI. So it's kind of interesting that it's his company building this. I guess maybe they're thinking, hey, how can we alarm people? I know.
Well, the funny thing is he considers this okay because this is a very specific application of the AI. So he's cool with this. I think he's very much against like a neural network AI that's just sort of unleashed out there onto the internet, which has been done a couple of times as chatbots.
Yeah, there's that open AI project too that's out there that's kind of big. So
right.
I kind of wonder like what things has Elon Musk and like Stephen Hawking seen that we haven't seen that actually makes them that scared of it all? Like, because they must have seen some stuff behind closed doors that made them go, okay, what the fuck now?
Well, I recall reading, and this is going slightly off topic, that when we do this, the AIs start inventing their own language.
Oh, yeah, I read that. Yeah.
That they stop using English and they start creating their own, and that scares the fuck out of people.
That just happened. I can't remember.
I can't remember either. And they shut it down.
Right.
Yeah, they're like,
So, and I understand that's kind of frightening.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, when Stephen Hawking came out warning about it, I mean, he's warning us not to talk to aliens. He's always like warning us about things that are kind of like, it doesn't really make sense. But when Elon Musk, you hear him, like say, hey man, this is trouble. It's like, oh,
actually makes a lot of sense. What Bill Gates says, or not Bill Gates, Stephen Hawking says when he says don't talk to aliens. He makes, I mean, do you know what his argument is, Yahel?
Yeah, no, I do know his argument, but I mean, I just also think that that's still a pretty big assumption at the same time. I'm not saying he's wrong. I mean, I just think like,
I mean, better safe than sorry. I would say at this point, we, any aliens out there that are capable of intergalactic, flight or faster than light speed travel can probably kick our ass in a fight. So best not to make ourselves know.
But if they made it to that lengthy of a civilization, they probably have gotten over petty squabbles like that.
That is the counter argument. Yes.
And who knows if other races, if aliens,
maybe they've united to enslave everyone else.
I mean, maybe fighting was never even a thing for them. That could be an intrinsically human thing.
True.
I doubt that.
Yeah, probably not.
I doubt that.
Well,
I doubt that very much.
Who's to say we're not already talking to aliens?
Well, who's to say that aliens aren't listening? I don't know about us talking to them, but that's. I feel like we're entering. What's that? What's that late night radio?
Ancient Aliens. The TV.
Oh no, that's the History Channel. No, that AM. There's that.
I love that show.
You guys do know that aliens came down to help Blizzard build Warcraft. You know that, right?
Yeah, they modeled the orcs after him, and the orcs were supposed to win. That was the whole point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, everyone knows that, though. But yeah, so no, this is really interesting to me, though. If you think about it, anytime we've seen AI touted, right, as AI beats humans, it's always been in a two-dimensional game, a game like chess, a game like Go. That was a big deal because obviously the potential moves for Go are so massive that you can't just brute force the calculations like we did back in the 90s with Deep Blue versus Kasparov. For anyone that knows their history, that was a brute force machine. That was a machine that was designed to calculate every single possible move in like 2 seconds and then pick one. That was the best move. Fast forward a decade, we have an AI that plays Go, the Chinese game of Go, and also beats the best Go player in the world, hands down. In fact, I believe it beat like 3 Go players that were like, they were talking to each other. Like the 3 players were professionals, were talking to each other and trying to pick the best moves collectively. Still couldn't beat the AI. And that's a big deal because that one's not a brute force calculation because there's too many possible moves. The board is too big. It's 16 by 16. This is different, right? This is, now we're in a 3-dimensional space. And you have to not only keep track of all the pieces, you have to keep track of the mobs that are going up and down the lane. You have to keep track of your own abilities, the other players' abilities. Just in that context, this is kind of fucking crazy that this thing beat the pros. You know, not just kept up with them, not just like, you know, put up a good fight. It beat them.
Yeah, and even though, like you said earlier, there were a lot of caveats to it. It was a very, very specific game types, but it beat them every time. It was what I thought was pretty impressive. It wasn't just like a one-off thing or whatever. Every time.
And again, this thing is using what's called neural network learning. What it does is it plays the game with itself hundreds upon thousands of times over and over and over and over and over again until it becomes good. And that's crazy to me. That is just, you know, think about that process. It's insane.
That is pretty crazy. But I think I read too that they were using what they learned about this to help develop AI for like surgeries and stuff like that. Like that's why they wanted it to work in a 3-dimensional space.
That makes sense. That's
so
cool.
I thought that was kind of neat that Dota could have some influence on the way future surgeries are performed by robots. Like
now, one more thing I want to highlight, which I think was really interesting, was they put the bot out. Right, the company put the bot out and said the first 50 people who can beat this will get like some really cool cosmetic limited edition stuff. And when they put it out to like the people who were attending the championship, they did it. They beat them. The people beat the bot.
Yeah,
but
they figured out a way to cheese it. Yeah, they cheesed it. So they did things like distract the enemy creeps or buying unusual items. So they did things that were so out of the ordinary for, you know, what the AI had, you know, experienced already, that it played a lot worse versus, you know, pros that have a very sort of specific path that they tend to take when they're playing the character. So I thought that was really interesting as well.
This has been a production of the GWW Radio Network. Please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. Also, check out Geeks Worldwide at thegww.com for all the latest news, reviews, and opinions on video games, comics, movies, TV, cosplay, and more. Geeks Assemble!